Hey yo, what is up guys? Thank you for once again clicking on this video, and today we're going to be redoing my headliner and adding the like Rolls Royce sparkle twilight lights on it as well. So originally I was just going to do the regular headliner and not record it because there's nothing special about that, but I remembered that I had bought a cheap little eBay, where's it at, headliner sparkle thing to do my van that I did the headliner in. So when I did the leather conversion, you can see I put headliner in it, and I was gonna do it there, but the ceiling was so complex and large that I wasn't really able to do it properly, so I didn't want to take the chance. So then that left me with this box of headliner sparkle stuff with nothing to do with, and I just remembered because I was redoing it to make it look a little bit nicer again, because the first time I did my headliner I did not do it properly. This was the fabric I used the first time that I got from Hobby Lobby for like 20 bucks, and I thought it was pretty cool, but everyone made fun of me saying it looked like a grandma's couch or curtain or something grandma related, so I wanted to go ahead and take that off. And luckily for me, I had just enough left over from doing my van's headliner. I literally had like inches remaining, so I'm using that fancy nice black satin rose. You can see one side looks like that, the other side looks like that, so I'm putting this side up. As you can see, I already did half of it because like I said I wasn't going to record, but I ran out of spray adhesive, so I went to buy more, and as I was driving I remembered that I had that, and that is going to make this video worth making for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up the rest of this because I already got half done, so I'll just time lapse that real quick, and then I'll show the process of actually shoving all the fucking needles through the headliner. I've used quite a few different spray adhesives, and I find the Gorilla spray adhesive to be the best. It is a little bit more expensive, but the Permatex and 3M ones they sell at auto parts stores would loosen up and sag the headliner over time. So I'm sticking with this stuff right here. Not the best lighting, but the headliner is now applied. Pretty self-explanatory. Just do small sections at a time, that way you can stretch it out, because it's kind of difficult to pull the fabric to make sure you get no wrinkles. And as you can see, I did pretty good except for these little tight areas. It's not going to adhere perfectly because it can't stretch that much, but just apply the spray adhesive, little patches on the headliner and then on the fabric itself. Wait a minute or so, lay it down, rub it out, if you know what I mean. And as far as doing the seams, you saw me cut, so I cut just to have a little bit of excess, that way I can actually wrap it around, spray it on this part and then spray it on the back, and it'll stick down. And then you find all the holes on the back. You can see like what I did for the dome light, just cut it out, folded it back, and so now I have all the little tiny holes X'd out. You go from the corner cut, and that way it works the best, so you can still get, you know, all the screws in and everything. But anyways, now is going to be the hard part. I've never done this before, and I've seen videos and it looks like it's a pain in the ass, so let's go ahead and get started on that. One thing I love about power tools is you can use them to test all sorts of stuff. So I put the red on the positive and the blue on the negative. Oop, and it just fell off my lap. But when I get them connected, you can see they're doing their thing, little color changing. Camera's not picking it up, it's trying to focus on the wrong thing, but anyways, we can see that it works. There's this little white wire, I don't know what it goes to, but I know these are the 2 power wires, and that's all I care about. There's no remote. It only color changes, which is kind of cool. And as you can see, these are pretty thin, I don't know how to explain how thin that is, but that's gonna be fun to poke a bunch of holes and lay them out properly. So we have the headliner flipped over here, and one of the things you want to do, and which is the reason why I didn't put it in my van, is because if you want to lay this out, you want to stretch out these little needle strip things and make sure they can reach all the way across from the back of the headliner, because I don't know if some people do it that way where they literally mount that module on top of the headliner, but not all cases you're able to. I don't have thick enough support beams, so I'm going to try to plant it right on this C-pillar, I think is what that's called. The little box down there, extend the wires to an actual power plug, and then we'll be able to do it that way. But with the Odyssey, I'd have to put it halfway in the middle, and then I had the air vents for the roof, because minivans have the air vents that come down from the top as well, so I definitely couldn't have done that. So with seeing this, I can see that it is long enough, so you're going to want to try to split it up into little pieces. That way you don't have a bunch in one area. You can even do a design if you wanted to, but I'm going to just start poking some holes. I got this 8 gauge like horse needle or something off of eBay. But I think it's going to be a little bit too thick of a gauge for us if it even focuses on it. But so I got the front half done. I stopped at the little ridge and did everything up front except for when the sun visors cover, because that's obviously not necessary. But what I did is I split it into half, more like I'd say more like 40% front, 60% back, you know, at that line, just because there's less up front than in the back. And then from there I split it 50-50, one on each side. I'll explain that in a second. Figured I'd leave a little treasure find, but anyways, here's what we're looking like on the bottom. It's coming out pretty good. I'm trying to do them as staggered as possible. That way you don't see any patterns except for whatever might be at the top right there. But I'm gonna actually time lapse the back. I just wanted to get a hang of it. And by the way, this little needle's working out pretty good. I ended up tipping or bending the tip. See if I can get it to focus on it. But pretty much all I did was use some cutters and cut it sharp again, and then I wrapped some tape on the bottom. So I'm poking through randomly from the back, and then it leaves a little opening to shove the needle through. I'm leaving it running too, just to make sure I don't miss any, which is nice. But let's go ahead and time lapse this whole back part. Alrighty, well, they are all in and my back is sore as hell. The little needle worked pretty good, and if we lift the headliner up, you will see that everything is stuck through and looking nice, all nice and evenly scattered, which is what I wanted. I didn't want you to be able to see patterns or anything like that. Now the hard part is figuring out how to get these, I don't even know what you call them, strings to kind of lay flat. Oh shit, I just pulled one out, god damn it. But figure out how to get them to lay straight, and then that way we can cleanly do it. I could leave the front ones pulled out and then shove the back ones all the way in, to limit that, but that's a lot of extra shit to get it to line up, and I want to have as much room as possible. That way that'll go down as far off the headliner as possible, but I'll figure that out after I let my back rest. I already know I'm going to be finding these little plastic strips for years to come. I'm going to be cleaning out my car and be like, oh, found another one, because at first I was trying to throw them away, but my arm was getting so sore because I had to cut however many of those there are. But anyways, new headliner looks fire. You can see the box hanging down. I just have it hooked up to the drill battery, and I also painted this trim piece black. I wish it would have been like satin or semi-gloss, but all I had was gloss black, so that'll look way cleaner. And then I'll finish putting my dash and everything back together, since I just finished doing all that wiring. But anyways, that's kind of how it looks, and I'll just be mounting it to that C-pillar back there and running the wires wherever. I'm not going to show me installing the switch for the ceiling lights, but all you have to do is put one to a ground, which can be literally on that pillar that it's mounted to a mounted bolt for that box. And then you take one wire and run it all the way down to your switch panel, to the accessory port on the switch, and then you have power going to that switch. So when you switch it on, nothing too complicated. I've done it hundreds of times. You can get those little inline fuses. It'll go in your fuse box and give you a little disconnect for power, so you can connect to it and have the lights work. But I'll figure that out later when I do it. I just wanted to get them installed, and I think they look badass, and it'll be cool driving down the road or posted up at a car meet with all those showing in there like that. But anyways, guys, my right arm is so sore from stabbing so many holes, cutting so many strips, or whatever the fuck you call them. But anyways, guys, follow my two YouTubes right here. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video of me doing whatever I'm doing on this car. Peace.